Hello everyone, Chris LaChavo with RE/MAX Heritage Professionals, and we are once again at the end of another month. The first quarter of 2024 is already over, and so that means it's market update time. So let's get into the numbers. This is for Polk County, Florida. This is through the end of February 2024. Polk County, we saw 1,176 closed sales in February 2024. That's compared to 1,165 a year ago. That's a change, an increase of 0.9%. So closed sales remain relatively stable. Cash sales, a percentage of closed sales, 24.1% of all sales were cash sales in February 2024, compared to 25.7%, a decrease of 6.2%. The median sales price in Polk County was $323,050. That's compared to $315,000 a year ago, an increase of 2.6%. The average sales price is $334,699 compared to $321,353, an increase of 4.2%. So we did see price gains this February over last February. The median percent of original list price, sellers receiving 96.6% of list price compared to 95.3% a year ago, an increase of 1.4%. Median time to contract, 43 days compared to 46 days a year ago, a decrease of 6.5%. So it is a little quicker to sell a home, but still taking about a month and a half. Median time to sale, 92 days compared to 97 days a year ago, a decrease of 5.2%. New pending sales, 1,336 compared to 1,442 a year ago, a decrease of 7.4%. New listings, 1,918 compared to 1,418 a year ago, an increase of 35.3%. So that's really good news for home buyers to see that increase in new listings. Pending inventory, 1,896 compared to 2,117, a decrease of 10.4%. Active inventory, 4,894 homes active in Polk County, compared to 3,366 a year ago, an increase of 45.4%. That's a combination of homes staying on the market longer and more new listings than we had a year ago. And then month supply of inventory, we're at 3.9 months supply of inventory compared to 2.5 months supply of inventory a year ago, an increase of 56%. Still means we're in a seller's market, but we are approaching that 6-month mark, so we're approaching a more balanced market. Tune in and we'll talk a little bit more about what this all means moving forward. So the housing market has definitely been interesting over the last year, and it's really being dictated by what the mortgage rates do. The good news for home buyers is that we expect throughout the course of the rest of 2024 that interest rates will start to go down as the Federal Reserve lowers the rate. And while that doesn't directly affect mortgage rates, they usually follow pretty closely behind. So as mortgage rates go down, I would expect to see more buyers entering the market, which is a good thing for home sellers. The other good news for home buyers is the increase in inventory. Both increase in new listings, but also the fact that the homes are taking longer to sell. So as a buyer, you can practice a little more patience. You don't have to rush to make a decision to put an offer in on a home. You're not necessarily facing a ton of bidding wars and over asking contracts and waiving contingencies. So as a buyer, you can take a little bit of time, think about the purchase, make sure you're comfortable with it. You can still have an inspection contingency, an appraisal contingency, and you can also still ask for seller concessions. Now, the caveat to that is, as rates go down and more buyers flood into the market, that's going to increase competition for the homes. And I'm not sure we're going to continue to see inventory increase. We're fortunate here in Polk County, there's a lot of new construction, and that's still something I would focus on as a home buyer. A lot of sellers are staying put. In fact, the average seller is staying put 12 years now. It used to be 10 years. So the amount of time people are staying in their home is increasing. And I think part of that is there's people that have gotten some really good interest rates and they're probably not going to move. And so while the uptick in inventory is a positive and it will help the inventory shortage we have in the market, if we get a bunch of buyers flooding the market, that's really going to be offset very, very quickly. And we could see those bidding wars, and we could still see waiving of contingencies come back. The other thing that you have as an advantage right now as a buyer is because there is more inventory and fewer buyers out there, sellers are willing to offer some incentives. First and foremost of those is money towards closing costs or rate buy downs. And you can get that now when rates go down and more buyers are in the market and there's more competition for those same number of homes. Sellers are probably not going to offer those concessions. So from that perspective, now really could be a good time to buy as a home buyer, and then you just refinance a year from now when rates are lower. That would be my advice to buyers. The other advice I have to buyers is to get with a realtor that knows new home construction. There's a flood of new home construction happening all over Polk County, and it's not just in more expensive areas like Lakeland and Davenport. The builders have discovered Winter Haven, Lake Alfred, Lake Wales, Auburndale. Those areas are just exploding with new construction right now. I don't know if you read the articles that came out this week, but our very own Polk County is the number one place, the number one county in the entire country where people are moving to. And the builders were already aware of that, and they've been building to really to offset that. So there's a lot of new construction competition out there, and that means builders are offering incentives, whether that's paying all your closing costs, whether that's rate buy downs, complete home packages with all the appliances, you name it. All kinds of incentives that the builders are offering. There's communities all over Polk County that you can look at. So definitely something to explore. You really can get a deal on that. And honestly, they're not much more expensive than a resale home at this point. You will have to deal with an HOA. So if you're really one of those people that's set against an HOA, that might be a challenge for you. And it's really hard to find homes that aren't in HOAs anymore. The real key about the HOA is finding one that's reasonable. And some are and some aren't. Anyway, that's your snapshot of the housing market. I hope this information is helpful to you. If I can help you with new home construction, I know a lot of sales agents in a lot of the communities, familiar with a lot of the new builds and new communities, so I'd love to help you, but also can help with a resale. Just reach out to me, and remember, I want to make your home buying and selling experience an epic one here in Polk County. Looking forward to seeing you, hearing from you. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'd love to have you on here. Have a great day, everybody.